Shalom to Heather Stone, Chair of Democrats Abroad Israel.
Shalom, Yoni.
So tell us about your feelings today.
Well, I am optimistic that we are on the path to victory. As Joe Biden said, we have a path to victory, and we just need to wait for the count to be done. And every vote counts, and we will give the state secretaries of state the opportunity to do their jobs and count the votes.
So throughout the campaign, there was lots of discussion about who's good for Israel. What's your message to Israelis who are worried, who are concerned? They feel that Trump was a good friend, and now what will be?
Well, people should not be afraid of a Biden presidency. Quite to the contrary. Biden is a longtime friend of Israel. He is a true Zionist. He has long believed that if Israel didn't exist, it should be invented. And even in his time as chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee in the Senate, he has done amazing things for Israel's benefit. And when he was vice president, he was instrumental in securing the $38 billion of aid to Israel, which is the largest aid package of foreign aid package that any country has ever received, and certainly that Israel has ever received. So one should not be worried about a Biden support for the state of Israel. In terms of other things, Biden is not the kind of person to go around and undo things that have been done by past presidents just for the sake of undoing them. He will examine everything that exists and go forward from there. He has welcomed the Abraham Accords and looked for the opportunity to be able to leverage them in the future. So he hopes that they will be able to lead to more opportunities for Israel's security and for the security of the region.
So you don't think he'll move the embassy back to Tel Aviv?
Absolutely not. He has said 100% that it is not. And it even appears in the platform of the Democratic Committee.
And what do you say to those who tell you, Biden is a great guy, he's a good friend of Israel, but the problem is the squad, the problem is Bernie Sanders. They'll influence him.
Listen, everyone wants to believe that they're running against Bernie Sanders. That's what Donald Trump wanted to have, was to run against Bernie Sanders. And it's just a Republican talking point. They're running against Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is a centrist. Now, the party is a big tent party, and it is made up of many, many influences. And Joe Biden is a listener, and he will listen to many people, and he will take into account their concerns and considerations. But he hasn't budged that much. If you look at the way in which the Democratic Party platform has been built and his policies that he has adopted, he has taken into consideration some things from the more progressive wing of the party, but he hasn't moved on things that should be of concern to Israel or to Israelis, not on foreign policy.
So do you feel that this rift, the divide, can be healed? What should be done now?
Well, I think that, in fact, it can be healed, and it will be healed when we have someone at the top who is acting presidential, because it all starts with messaging from the top. When someone can say, I will be president of all Americans, those who voted for me and those who did not vote for me, and not see the country as divided into red states and blue states, and not foment anger and division, but rather encourage people to see what brings us together, what unites us as Americans. That will be when we will begin to have a better tomorrow. And I think that Joe Biden is that man. And he will be able to bring America into its better spirits. And we will begin the work of working for a better future.
One of the fears that we're hearing is that Biden will take us back to the days of Obama.
The situation in 2020 is so different than it was when Barack Obama became president. We're facing a pandemic that has claimed the lives of over 250,000 people in America. And the economic downturn that goes with it is so severe. Joe Biden has a lot of work cut out for him on the national scene that he's going to have to address. It is not the same policies that Barack Obama had to address, and he will not try to place a square wheel in a round peg just because he knew what happened during the time that he was vice president with Barack Obama. He's going to do what's necessary to address these times. And these times are a unique period in American history.
So less about a balcony in the Samaria community of Yitzhar.
Absolutely.
So let's end with what you're doing as Democrats Abroad Israel.
Sure. So Democrats Abroad Israel is less about the show of having big parades with cars going through the streets and blowing horns, and more about the work on the ground. We have been registering voters for months in between lockdowns. We've had a good ground game. And when we've been in lockdown, we've been doing it virtually. We've set up virtual Zoom rooms to provide support to voters, both at the national and international level, with voter support. And we've also been trying to reach out to voters through social media. So we've had great success in that. We've seen our membership double in the last 8 months. And we have also seen the traffic on our platform for voter registration triple since 2016. So we know that votes from abroad will be a significant part of the ballot counting process, which is ongoing right now in crucial swing states.
Heather Stone, Chair of Democrats Abroad Israel, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.